Hey, this is Druid XCX, and let's talk about 3D printing. So, I'm getting back into the hobby again, and it's being fantastic. But I want to show you my history of 3D printing and how I got started. So let's get into it real quick, and then we'll also get into the machines that I'm kind of upgrading, stuff like that. But I'll show you how I got started. Let's get right into it. So this right here is the Anet A8. It is out of commission. I do not use it anymore. You could tell like a lot of parts are just kind of sitting there. But this is actually the first filament I've ever used. It came with the printer. So this is a clone of a Prusa. If you guys don't know what 3D printing is, a Prusa is like they're not really the inventors of this style of printer, but they definitely made it popular, and their main color was orange. But this filament came with it. It was just black, but I printed all these parts to make it better. Obviously, this filament right here, I'll show you. It's pretty brittle now. I'm sure it wasn't that great, but filament doesn't really become brittle, but it definitely broke a lot of parts over the years, just because it came very brittle. I could reprint a lot of parts to make this machine running, but Anet A8s are pretty dangerous if you don't know how to do it. But this whole thing I had to build myself. It came in a kit. I did it within a day, which is actually pretty good. But I fried the motherboard because I had it. That's the motherboard right there. It was basically set up wrong because there was like multiple of these motherboards, and you could have it set up wrong where you would have the positive where the negative is and stuff like that. So I had to buy a new board. Eventually bought one. They were like $40 at the time, so it kind of sucked because this is like brand new. This machine was like $180. So I had to shill out like $40 for a new motherboard because I fucked up because I didn't read. Well, I read I watched it, followed a guide, but then the motherboards were like different, and like if you mess up the positive and negative, it's gonna fry your motherboard. That's basically what happened. I was very pissed off. I had to buy a new board, but eventually I got it running. Obviously, I printed a lot of stuff on it. I don't want to show you guys all those parts, but definitely printed a helmet that was in multiple pieces, which was actually I'll show you. Right. So this was probably my proudest print. It's not the best because you could definitely see seams. Like model was like great back in the day. You could print it fully in one piece if you have the big enough printer, but obviously this is bigger than the print bed, so I had to print it in multiple pieces, which I printed in 4 pieces, as you guys could see the seams. My paint job wasn't that great. Definitely still needed to learn how to do stuff. I still need to learn how to make it look good, but overall it's pretty decent for the Reaper head. I think I did pretty decent for my first job, and this was like one of my proudest prints on this printer. This actually came from this printer, so like this is pretty intense. It still holds up today. Was not the orange filament. I definitely used different filament. The orange filament that came with it was pretty brittle, but I definitely used it all up on the printer because I didn't really give a shit about the color at the time, and like usually you don't really care what you get. But this was my very, very, very first printer, and it got me into printing. I don't use it anymore because it is very dangerous. It could set your house on fire if you don't set it up right. I did put a MOSFET on the heated bed. That's what people said to do to make sure you don't get your house on fire. And also you're supposed to do it for the extruder as well. I did not do it for the extruder, which I'm pretty sure I only did it for the heated bed. Either that or I don't remember exactly what I did. I made it so it had a on and off switch, and I made it so it was supposed to, when I never got it to work, but when it ended, it was supposed to turn off the printer when a print ended. You basically change the G code, which is like the firmware, to tell it what to do at the end of a print. but I never got that to work. I just ended up adding those things and it never did what I wanted it to. But let's go to the next printer that I got. And actually, I think it's my favorite printer just because of how easy it is to use. But that's my very first one, Anet A8. It is the one that most people get to learn first printing, because you have to learn the ins and outs of 3D printing. You have to build this entire machine, and eventually you can get to learn it. And that's how you should kind of learn. I say should. You can learn how you want to 3D print. You can get a reliable machine that'll work, or you can learn to tinker like I had. So let's go into the next machine. Got the flashlight or the light on for this one. This is the Anet A8. This one it can turn on. This is a really reliable machine, but the only thing I could say is the bed needs to be changed. So recently, I was scraping off the machine. You can see like how I use glue on this. I use this glue stick. It comes with it. I also bought a bunch of extra that's the exact same kind. So if you guys think I don't 3D print like crazy on this thing, I do. I've actually printed a lot, and I've bought multiple of these sticks. I think this might be my last one. I might have one more. But I just bought the same kind just because I like to see the purple, and I like to know when it dries. Because I just recently did a print. It's still purple. That means it's not dry. But sometimes it might stay purple. But I recently just did like a small little print, and glue sticks comes off. And it's very shitty. I don't like using the glue stick. So, and also like recently I used the scraper, scraped my hand, and it did this. I gouged my fucking hand because I used the scraper. You could take the build plate out, and I scraped it, and I had my hand right here with my hand I was scraping, and then I gouged my hand. I instantly ran downstairs. My dad was home at the time, and he was in the bathroom, so I had to wait. So I just went to the kitchen, cleaned off my hand, and put some alcohol on it, and just hoped it would heal. And I did not put stitches on it, but yeah, it's pretty recent too, so probably should clean it again. But but this machine is reliable. That's the only thing I can say about it. But the bed, there's no reason for beds to not have like things that I will show you in a second. Because I am upgrading this bed to what I'm going to show you a little bit later, just so this does not happen again, because this should not happen. I should not fucking have to have my hand getting gouged from scraping the bed, because it was like on there stuck, like I couldn't get it. So, but yeah, this thing is reliable. Other than that, here's the Bowden tube. I didn't use this recently. Because the Bowden tube, what it basically is just so it holds the filament. I use big filaments. Sometimes I use small, depending on if it's color. But if it's just black or white, I just use big filament rolls because I print big, which I'll show you in a bit. But this is like the best style of printer, which the bed comes up, and the top does the X and Y. The bed comes up. And yeah, it's just so much more reliable. This is the Z-axis, and these, well, it's kind of, yeah, technically on this machine. But this style of printer is like the best, but they print small because you have to have it in an enclosure. But this printer was around like $300 or $400. It's reliable, but it only can print very small parts. I still use this a lot, and I think it's my favorite one just because of how reliable it is. I can walk away from it. It has an auto shut off feature, so when it's done, it'll shut the printer off. But my other ones don't do that. And I'll show you guys what I have next. So this is my second 3D printer. I bought a reliable one because I was tired of tinkering with the original one. But then I was like, all right, this print bed's pretty small. They make bigger ones of these now, but I don't think I will buy one of them just because, I don't know. I like FlashForge, but they have proprietary software. Everything's proprietary on it. You can't really tinker with it. So, and I like tinkering. But let's go to the next machine. All right, so this is the next 3D printer I bought. I'm going to move these things real quick because I'll talk about those later. So this is the next printer I got. It is a behemoth. I wanted to make big prints. It is fucking huge. I'm gonna turn this on off. This is actually a loud printer. If you guys don't know, this one's pretty loud. Just saying. All right, so this is my behemoth. This one's also kind of loud, but I'm gonna fix that pretty soon. But it is the CR10 S5, not the S4, not the regular, the S5. So this is my third 3D printer. I was like, let's go big or go home. And I did a lot of modifications to it. Changed this to metal extrusion, you know. And then this Bowden tube, it's called Capricorn. It's blue. It's smaller than a normal one. Usually you get a white one, a clear white one, and it can fuck up your prints if they're, because like the Bowden tube would just be too wide, and you want to shrink it to where the filament just slides in normally. Did not change the heated or the extrusion. I think it's fine stock. You guys probably will say, oh, you need to upgrade that. I might upgrade it eventually. I just don't want to fuck with this machine that much. I say that, but I'm going to be changing stuff on it after I talk to you about my other printer. But yeah, here's this. I can turn it on. So this printer is pretty loud. I'm going to do just a home and see how loud it is. And I didn't show you how loud that one is, but that one's pretty loud too. We're just going to home this. Prepare. You guys can see it. Auto home. See how loud that is? It's pretty loud. And if you hear this throughout the nights, it can get very loud. Because you got to think, for me, I make big prints, but I also change the nozzle. It's at an 8.8 millimeter, just so it can print big prints. Because I'm not gonna fucking wait 12 fucking years. But yeah, it's a big printer. It's pretty loud. If you guys didn't hear it, it was, pretty loud. But like once it gets going, it gets a lot louder. When you're actually printing stuff, it's loud. But let's go to the next printer that I bought. It is the CR10, the normal CR10. Why did you buy another CR10 when you already had a big boy? So I wanted productivity, and I also wanted to mod the fuck out of this one. So I bought this one just to mod it. I honestly should have got like, what's it called? An Ender. Because those ones are a lot reliable. So a lot of this stuff I did recently to mod it. I added the Gengar. It's nice and purple. I added these to tighten up the X and Y. I made it so it's I made it so it's an all-in-one. So it's an all-in-one. If you guys can see, the stuff's down there. Has the fans and make sure it's all cool and stuff. Made it an all-in-one because I need more room. I actually don't keep this on the bed or here. I just put it here just to show you. It's usually down here. But I needed more room because I have this one now. I've had this. I've only done one successful print on it, and that is Udyr from League of Legends, my addiction. But this is the only successful print, and I wouldn't even call it a success because I put too much support material on it. But this 3D printer type style, I don't recommend because it smells like death, and it is like death because it's bad. But let's get back to this. I modded this. I also added this because this is basically mandatory shit you need to change. Some people may say you don't need to change it, but if you don't, this shit will just get stuck. This also as well, the Bowden tubes. This is just like cheap parts that you can buy. I think there was like only $20 for it, maybe 30. I don't know. It's pretty cheap. I put a BL Touch on it, but we got to talk about why or talk about a thing that happened with this printer. So I pretty much added these stuffs. I didn't even get any prints off of this. I also upgraded this. I don't know if I showed you that, but I also got it on this one. This one's expensive. They're called Wham Bams. There's like different brands, but I have a Wham Bam. Doesn't really matter. You can get any brand. They're expensive though. But I upgraded the fuck out of this machine, and then I wanted to add a BL Touch. And then I flashed firmware on this with a thingy bobber. I don't remember what it's called. Let me go look at it. Get it real quick. One of these, I flashed it with this, and it fucking fried this board basically, or it just erased the memory from it. So I was pissed. A year later, I stopped 3D printing for a while. I eventually bought this, which is another motherboard, and this motherboard is fucking sick. So sick, in fact, I'm going to change this motherboard. Why are you going to change a motherboard when that works? Well, it fucking makes your machine so quiet that you do not hear the motors. So when you're sleeping, and I sleep right over there, like right over there, I want to fucking not hear my printers while they're going. It is nice to hear them a little bit, just so you know that they're going. But yeah, these printers, these two also do not turn off automatically. You can set it up to automatically shut off, but you have to buy stuff. It's kind of annoying, but I'm going to deal with it. And it's just more money to like throw down the drain when you could buy a better printer, instead of modding. Well, I want to, I want to understand what my printer is doing. I want to understand why things are happening. But this thing is sick. I got dishing automatic. So I did all this. It's pretty cool. Back here is the switch. You turn it on. Bing, bing, bing. Now it looks like an ender. Turns on. I had to flash the firmware, so I had to learn how to do this. Was annoying. The BL Touch. Oh, if you could not lag. The BL Touch I had to install. I had another BL Touch. It was not working for the longest. It would never go, the Z-axis would not go down for some reason. So I figured out that it was a faulty BL Touch, and I luckily had another one. These are generic BL Touches. There are actual BL Touches, which I will show you in a second. But I upgraded it. I will show you what a BL Touch does. Auto home. It basically auto bed levels, even though it doesn't really though. It's annoying. It feels like it wasted money, but I feel like it didn't. It's just kind of weird because it does auto bed level, but then it doesn't feel like it sometimes. But this is what it does. Instead of having a stop switch right here, which you normally stops it, the BL Touch actually stops it. And then also, I'll show you the auto bed leveling. We're just going to do that, and then we're going to talk about the next printer because I don't want to make this too long. But right here, we go to bed leveling, and then we'll level the bed. And it goes up to 25. Even though I set it up to 5, I don't know why it goes to all of them. But right now, I don't know why it's not going to the main screen. It is probing 25 positions. Even though I set it to only do 5, it does 25. I don't know. I'm just going to let it do its thing. I might not even doing it right because I don't know everything about 3D printing. I'm still learning. I'm sorry, holding it wrong. I'm still learning, but I'm making this machine fucking sick. I'm going to put purple on it. I have still a lot of purple filament. I just did this stuff recently. I'm making it the Gengar. Don't know what I'm going to make this one yet, but I'm going to make them look cool. And then we're going to build big things. Big prints. The big prints will be on this one, and then the semi-big ones will be on this one, and then the tiny ones that needed to be, you know, because I print these on this because this is a more reliable machine than this one so far, because when I printed on this one, this axis fucked up so bad that it would like veer off. So I kind of needed to print these, and I didn't want to print them on the printer because I don't want to waste filament. Because if it fucks up, then yeah, you're wasting filament. I'd rather just use the reliable one that I know will always fucking work. I've only had like a couple fuck ups on this one, but it's user error most of the time, like filament getting stuck, like with the Bowden tube, and I knew it was going to get stuck. I just didn't get to it. But let's talk about the big printer. We're going to upgrade this bitch pretty soon. Sorry, I'm cussing, but I don't care. It's my fucking video. We are getting a genuine BL Touch this time instead of a generic. This is $40, fucking expensive. Then we have another motherboard. Why are you putting the motherboard in? Like I said, it makes the motors quieter. How does it make the motors quieter? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I didn't make this stuff. I'm just a user. I use these things. But here, a nice thingy. And then it comes with the ducky, guys. It actually does come with it. It just fell out. But, you know, I have another one, too, from the other one. But it's the same brand, but this is a V3. That one uses a V2. Why don't I have a V2 on this one? This one's $5 more than that one. Why is it $5 more? It's the V3. Why didn't you just get the V2? Well, because there's compatibility stuff. I don't know. It just kind of said to use V3 on this big one. So I'm going to do that. Let me turn this off. But yeah, that's just the reason there's compatibility issues. I don't know. They just told me to. It's $5 more. So it's like $45. But yeah, that's the original motherboard right here for this one. And I changed up a lot of things. Like this wire came from that one thing. This. And because the other one was really, really short, so I had to get that. Small things that you guys probably won't notice. No, that I had to do. I had to put all of this, appreciate this. I had to put all of these plastic things to make it look nice, to where, like, all the stuff's hidden. Yeah, you don't see this part. It's all fucking not set up that great, but, you know, it's hidden. I don't care. I didn't actually put, like, 3D prints down there. I did print stuff for it, but then I was like, well, this seems useless. I'm just going to put it there and screw it on. I bought multiple screws to make this stuff work, and now I'm going to be doing this, and it's going to be annoying because I remember setting that one up. It was annoying. It's going to be less annoying since I know what I'm doing now, but the BL Touch stuff is annoying. Filament runout sensor does work on this already. Came with the stock. This one, I'm going to put a filament runout sensor. I do not have it set up yet, but it's somewhere over here. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. I know I have it. I just don't know where I put it. Maybe it's in this box. I don't know. I just cleaned up a lot of shit, so a lot of stuff's everywhere. But we're going to get a filament runout sensor, which means if you guys don't know what it is, like I said, you guys probably don't know what I'm doing. The filament stops, or the machine stops, and then you can put new filament in, and then you could keep going. It's really useful because you do not want your print to be like you ran out of filament, and then you're like, well, now the print's just dead, so you have to restart. That sucks. No, just stop the machine, and then we reprint. The only thing about that is usually, I don't know about with the new firmware, like the new firmware that I installed on this one, but usually the bed cools down, which the bed needs to stay at a certain temp for the part to stay. Not always, depending, sometimes, especially if it's ABS, which I usually do not use ABS. I have bought ABS on accident before. This is ABS right there, purple. In the past, I wanted to make Gengar shit, and then it was ABS, and I found out that it was ABS, and I can't really print ABS because I suck at it, and it's just really hard to print with. But usually it's PLA. If you guys don't know what PLA is, I don't really know either. I'm not that great in 3D printing. I'm learning a lot as I go, and it's been multiple years, and I'm still bad at it. But eventually I will get good. I have 1, 2, don't use, 3, 4, don't use this one. But so I basically just use 3 right now. But I will eventually learn this. I need to figure out a way to make it not fucking kill me. Because you need gloves to touch the stuff. You need to cure it. I have a curing machine and made my own. But like, it's just so much effort. And I'm just like, I don't, one print, that was cool. One time, I used too many supports because like that's what people told me to do is use more supports, and then they got stuck to the thing, and then I couldn't take. All right, whatever. But yeah. So basically, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I might do a video on this. I don't know. It's really a lot of work to like show you guys how to do this. I'm sure there's videos out there to do it. I had to watch so many videos on how to get this to work because this fucking BL Touch the other one that I had was defective. It would never go down. So yeah, that is basically my 3D printers. This started a fucking crazy things. Yes, I could tear this down and make another 3D printer or something out of it. It'd be nice to. I wanted to sell it, but it's kind of just parts right now. I could make it work. Like, it works. It does print. I just don't like it. And it's dangerous. So it's scary to like give it to somebody and be like, have this. And then be like, make sure it doesn't burn your house down. So, you know. But yeah, you know, like I'm excited to keep going again. Definitely awesome. I made some big prints in the past. Maybe I'll show you at the end. Some are not always done, and I'm gonna make bigger prints. It's gonna be awesome. This machine is gonna be fucking a beast once I get it going. And yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll do maybe more 3D printed stuff in the future if you guys enjoy it. I don't know. I gotta get away from this game called League of Legends. It's my addiction. I've been away for it for a while. I've only played like one time this month. Pretty insane. Getting away from an addiction and then going into another addiction. That's just me. My ADHD, yes. I don't think I have ADHD, but let's just say that. Just because my brain's always going places, I do other things, and then I stop for a while, and then I go back to it, and then it's just, I need things constantly going. So maybe I'll be doing this, and then I'll be like, stop for a while, and then let's keep going. But hopefully I keep this going for a while, because I really want to get big prints done with these big filaments that I have sitting here that are doing absolutely nothing. But they're like $70 a fucking roll. $70 a roll. It's crazy. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure to like it. I'll see you guys in the next video or whatever I make. Bye.